Hey, good morning everyone, Trackman 44 here. Hey, I'm back working on that 430 case, and you can obviously see, that we've got the fender off of it and everything. Got a whole lot better access to the stuck brake. Got the wheel off, sitting outside. I'm draining the fluid and stuff out of it right now, getting ready to make that repair. And then we're going to go on a little bit farther. We're going to remove the starter and make sure the starter is functioning properly. Because if the starter is functioning fine, then we know the reason the motor won't turn over is because something mechanically is keeping that from happening, and it's not a fail or a failing starter motor. So that's where we're at right now. And the other day I kind of expressed my displeasure at not having someone to help me, get the tractor off the trailer. And so I was quickly admonished by the missus, because she said if I'd have just waited a little while, she'd have been home, she could have helped me, or she could have filmed or whatever, and she could have done her particular brand of narration, how that goes sometimes. At any rate, I've invited her to come out, so we'll see if she'll show up in a little bit and see us get a test going on this starter motor. So you can tell I got the loader frame off of this side, and I've also got the starter motor. I went ahead and prepared it by getting the starter motor out and then bolted with one of the flanges back onto the side of the housing, so I've got a ground so I can actually do a testing on the starter motor. And I've disconnected the electric. It goes up to a solenoid that goes to the preheater on the intake, so just to give me enough room to hang the motor off to the side, or the starter motor off to the side. So what we want to hear is a starter motor that just goes clunk and doesn't want to start or doesn't want to rotate, because that'll be a good indication that that's what the problem is. If the motor starts and turns just like it normally does, we got a problem inside the motor somewhere. And the missus just showed up.
Yes. I was curious about what was taking up so much of his time. So I asked if he would show me what he's been doing and what he plans on doing to this tractor. And so he's going to mansplain it to me.
Okay. Do you want it in technical terms, or would you like it in lady terms?
Let's.
It's broke. We're going to try to fix it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you can get a little more technical than that.
Okay. Well, I just explained to everyone. You
Right.
might have to watch the video, in order to see what I explained to the people about getting it prepared to check the starter motor. But that's what we're going to do now. Everything's
But I asked you about the starter motor, and you said you thought that was okay.
Well, yeah, that was as I brought the tractor home, and the guy had told me that the previous owner had told me that there was an electrical issue, which in fact there was. He said that the starter wouldn't engage, as in make no noise whatsoever. And with the wiring that was all burnt up here, the temporary repairs you can see here that I made, I've corrected it to where now I've got the starter to engage, but all it does is just slam into the flywheel, and it doesn't want to start the motor or rotate the engine. So I'm determining whether or not the starter itself has become faulty. Hopefully that's it, because that'd be a cheap fix. Or if the motor has got something wrong inside that's keeping it from rotating.
Okay, so if it's the starter motor, the starter thingy deal, what all is in there?
Well, there's a armature and stuff like that. This is the little thing that engages the. Whenever you send power to it, it's an electromagnet essentially that moves a lever here that slings a bendix forward to engage into the flywheel to give the motor a spin. So there's a field and an armature inside here. That is like any electric motor, except for it's a 12-volt DC electric motor.
Okay.
It's a little bit different than electric motor.
All right, so
Really
how do you
different.
figure out if it's the starter?
You're going to find out.
Okay.
If we turn it on, and if this motor starts and buzzes, then we don't have to have that conversation. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Okay, no, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, this tractor has a start position in the transmission. Actually has an S, so you have to put it in the S position. And that automatically ensures that it's put into neutral. And there's a transmission safety switch that when you put it into the S position or the start position, it closes that safety switch. So that's actually in the circuit that'll cause the starter motor to spin. So
Okay.
you ready?
I'm ready. Do I need to step back?
No, you just need to wish us luck.
Okay.
Us luck, because it's going to cost you money.
I'll cross all my fingers.
Okay. Okay, here we go.
I heard whirl.
Well,
That's not it?
that's it. What you heard was the actual starter motor rotating, slamming the bendix forward, wanting to hit into the flywheel, but because I've got it mounted on the outside of the tractor, it can't come in contact with it. So when it's installed in the tractor, it slams forward. That's the clunk you hear, because it has to go forward in order to engage the flywheel, but it can't rotate because there's something stuck in the motor. Let's check it again, you'll hear it.
So is that a good thing or bad thing?
Well, it's good that the starter's good, but it's bad because now I'm going to have to figure out what's wrong inside the motor of the tractor.
So it would have been better if it had been the starter?
It'd been a lot better if it'd be the starter.
Oh.
Because that's just,
Well, then I shouldn't have crossed my fingers.
well, I thought you were crossing them that it wouldn't work. Because that's what I was hoping for, because I was hoping it was going to be a failed starter motor.
Sorry, I was hoping for it to work.
Oh, you jinxed me.
Okay.
Okay. So what?
So now what? Now what do you have to do?
Okay. Well, we have to figure out what's causing it not to want to rotate. And the fact that it's set for all these years means it could have just oxidized a little bit. In other words, the moisture in the air could have oxidized the actual voids above the pistons on all 4 cylinders, and it could have just stuck from that oxidation.
So you can't
Okay?
just hit it with a hammer.
Probably can't just hit it with a hammer.
So
The
where
other-
would this starter thingy, where was that? Should it have been? You said it should have been inside the tractor?
Yes, I took it out of the tractor and mounted it here so I could check it.
Well, where in the tractor should it
It
have
goes
been?
right here, that big old hole right here.
There's a hole?
See that big hole? And look inside. See the flywheel?
Oh,
See the teeth inside the flywheel?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, there's matching teeth there on a little bitty gear. It's about this big around. And so with a clunk you hear is that bendix slinging that gear forward to engage into that, but it can't rotate them because something's stuck.
Bendix, that's a new term. I don't know what that is.
Now,
They're not going to tell me.
it's a spring return mechanism on the end of your starters.
Okay. What's the next part and how much is that going to be?
Oh, it's going to be expensive. You probably ought to buy me a new Kubota and we just ditch this thing.
Keep going.
You don't like the new Kubota idea?
Well, no,
Okay.
not so much.
And then more than likely pull the head. Once you pull the head, you can see the exposed pistons, and you'll be able to see any debris or anything that's on top of the pistons. Whatever valves are open is going to allow whatever entered either the intake or the exhaust to get in and rest down on top of the pistons.
So how many pistons does this have?
This has 4.
4. But I see 3 holes there.
3 holes where?
Those aren't the piston holes? Or the spark plug thingies?
Oh no, spark plugs are, no, there's no spark plugs on the diesel.
There's no, oh, this is a diesel.
Yeah, there's no spark, you had me looking for spark plugs, I can't believe that. There's no spark plugs on the diesel.
Sorry. So a diesel has the pistons and it has the cylinders, but it doesn't have any spark plugs because it's compression.
Yes, it explodes the fuel on compression.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why diesels are a much higher compression engine than gasoline.
Okay.
'Cause-
But your other tractors are gas, correct?
Well, several of them are, and several of them are diesel.
Diesel. I did not know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The little Kubota's diesel.
Really?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
only got 3 cylinders.
Doesn't it? Well, wouldn't it be better with more cylinders?
Well,
Make it smoother?
It depends. Well, there's.
Like a John Deere only has 2 and it sounds terrible.
Oh, I know they sound like Harleys. You know.
You better be careful.
But at any rate, man, you got me sidetracked. I lost track of where we are.
All right, all right. What's worst case?
Worst case is new pistons, rings, new liners if it's a lined engine, which I'm pretty sure it is.
Would you have to rebore the engine?
No, because with liners, you pull out the liners, slip in new liners, put in new pistons.
Okay.
You know.
All right. Okay.
But I'm not familiar with case. I ain't really a big case guy, but it doesn't matter. We don't need to go
Okay.
there.
There's no carburetor.
That's my opinion anyway. No carburetor. No.
Because it's a
This
diesel.
has an injection pump. Because injection pump injects at the specific time that the piston is getting right before top dead center on the stroke it needs
Okay.
to fire.
So you're absolutely sure it has to be in the engine and not in the injector pump?
I think it's going to be oxidation in the cylinders or some debris of some kind. Water might have gotten in. I know the gentleman I got it from told me that it's always covered for all the years it's set, but it still could have had the lid blown off the smoke pipe, a hole in his tarp, anything, and water could have gotten right down and rested on top of the cylinder. So it's definitely stuck. But
So you
intake
can
of the
show me all
exhaust-
this when you get it
Oh
apart.
yeah, when you get it all
Okay.
apart, if you want to be involved in that.
I do want to know, yes, how it works.
Okay.
Kind of, maybe, yes.
Well, it's something you could use at school, I'm sure.
I'm sure not. This is like major, or is this semi-major?
It depends on if it's just stuck with a little bit of oxidation. As long as the cylinder's not damaged or anything, you can go ahead and fire it up and just keep on going. A lot of guys don't like doing it. They like to just take them all the way down, put everything all new in it,
And
But,
repaint it?
No, that's against my religion. I'm one of those guys that I don't know, man. I like to use them and abuse them. I think we're going to wrap this up, and then we'll return maybe tomorrow with the missus. Tractor talking with the missus, and we'll probably pull the head and get a look down inside the cylinders, see how many of them are. This turned into not an exceptionally pleasant situation, but you know, it's not impossible to overcome. You know, depends on how much money you want to throw at something. You know, I still think a brand new Kubota would probably be the better answer, but I don't think the missus is gonna agree with that. But anyway, hey, you know what? This is Trackman 44, and I'm out of here, guys. We're back working on the case.
Wait,
430.
There's nothing red or here. I don't think it's turned on. Oh. I couldn't see anything.
Oh my God. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Oh my God. Holy cow.
No, you can't do it.
Are you actually interviewing me, or are you just interviewing from here down?
No, I've got your whole face. No, I've got you in it. I really want to know what.
Okay.
Is that just like how you repair your shirt there? It looks like a bullet hole pucker, but actually you've used a zip tie to fix a hole.
Well, I've had a couple of comments that guys didn't like seeing a big old hole in my shirt and see my little hairy belly sticking out, so I made a Tractorman 44 repair on my t-shirt. I didn't want to bother you about sewing a patch on it or darning it, and I was afraid you'd throw it away.
I would have. It would have been in your scrap pile now in little pieces.
This is my favorite shirt.
Yeah, that's what you say about all of them.
But,
I just wanted everyone to know that I did not repair that.
but I used a blue zip tie. It's your favorite color.
Thank you.